Welcome back to another YouTube video, everyone. Today's topic, we're going to be going over patience and why you struggle to stay patient in trading. So what I found from, mentoring and being in this industry a while and experiencing, and speaking to a bunch of people is that the reason people can't stay patient is because we grow up with this identity, this ideology that if we're not doing something, we're not progressing. So if we're not actively participating, how can we grow? How can we build, right? And we bring this urgency into our trading when we have this urgency to trade because we think that if we're doing something, we're progressing. When very often it's actually counterproductive when it comes to trading and trading results, because very often the more you do, the more you're exposing yourself to risk, and not just monetary risk, but mental risk, the risk of tilting, the risk of over risking and blowing up, right? And that's the last thing that we want to do. So in order to get to this stage of patience, right, it's to understand and almost reframe and reprogram your thoughts and your habits and your patterns and everything that you've grown up with. You have to reprogram, you have to reframe your whole way of thinking, because more does not equal more in trading, right? Everywhere else, right, more equals more, right? But it's not the case within trading. You get paid based on the quality of your decisions. Now, your job is to keep those decisions as high quality as possible. If you start going down the slippery slope, you start making too many mistakes, you start messing up lot sizes, you start taking trades that don't fit your plan, this is when over time the quality of your decisions decrease. And like I said before, you get paid on the quality of your decisions. So if you're not making money, it's very likely that your decision-making quality is poor. Okay, then how do you increase your decision-making quality? Again, it's understanding and reprogramming this pattern that I don't need to do more in order to make more, right? Your goal, my focus for today, should be on making the best decisions that I can. The best decision that fits with my strategy, that fits with my rules. And if I can do this, and if I can cut out those poor decisions, then I will eventually reach those consistency in results. And a lot of people struggle to distinguish whether they have made a good decision or whether they've made a bad decision. And again, a lot of the ideas that we've grown up with is that if you make a bad decision, you end up with a loss. And if you make a good decision, you end up with a win. When again, this is the polar opposites within trading. You can make the best decision, your all of your criteria is met, your position sizing correctly, your trade managing correctly, and you could still end up losing money. Now, again, if you haven't built the correct mental frameworks to deal with this can cause havoc with your emotions. And this is when people start slipping up. It's when they start, making emotional decisions, when they start changing their strategy because they think it's not working. And, ultimately you're on that slippery slope, and it's very difficult to pull your way out of it alone. I did this myself, and it took me many, many years to pull myself out of it, right? And so I think it's very important for you as a trader not to do this alone, right? Do not try and figure it out yourself, because you will go through an untold amount of stress, anxiety, pain, all kinds of emotions. Surround yourself with people that have built not only the correct mental frameworks, but the correct strategy and the correct levels of discipline, right? If you can surround yourself with a trading hub that's going to exponentially increase your learning curve. And so I guess the real point that I wanted to make is stop forcing trading. Once you stop forcing trading, once you stop chasing so hard, once you stop chasing these markets and you let the market come to you, you've built the correct strategy, you trust your strategy, that confidence will come from those executions. And the more you execute, the more you gradually build yourself out of these tough times, the more confidence you will have. And then, you're not going to feel like you have to do something, right? And you'll feel like the market will simply come to you.